How often do you play a game and just feel the developers focusing on delivering pure fun above everything else? If you know what I'm talking about and want more of it, then I got a game for you. This is my quick review of Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Developed by WayForward Technologies and initially released for 3DS and Wii U, but later ported to PC and all major consoles, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse follows the eponymous Shantae, as she once more must venture forth to stop the destruction of her beloved home. But rather than once again fighting her nemesis from the two previous games, this time around Shantae has to team up with Risky Boots to stop an even bigger threat, the Pirate King, before he awakens. With no longer having access to her magic, after losing it in the previous game, our half-genie needs to gather and make use of various pieces of equipment that once belonged to Risky. This is where the main mechanics of the game come into play. In typical metroidvenian fashion, Shantae has to travel between various islands looking for new abilities to unlock, while avoiding obstacles, solving puzzles and defeating bosses. At first glance this all might seem like stereotypical stuff, and in a sense it's true, but where Shantae and the Pirate's Curse shines is in the execution of those well-known ingredients of the metroidvanian genre. But to explain what I mean by that, let's backtrack to the absolute basics. How does Shantae attack her enemies? Does she shoot them? That's an unlockable skill and not her main form of attack. So, does she kick them perhaps? Also an optional skill you can get and not her main attack. Shantae's main form of attack is her hair. This kind of goofiness completely redefines the whole experience. Sure, you have boss fights, but you're fighting Dagron, aka the massively misspelled monstrosity. And how do you get to him? Sure, you have to get through hundreds of enemies on your path. But when you're killing zombies, they drop their heads, which you can then hit for additional gems. And of course you have puzzles, but to awaken a sleeping dragon, you have to whip a piece of meat and capture its tasty aroma to trigger the dragon's sense of smell. Even the story and the characters, despite rather grim predicament, continue to maintain their light-hearted attitude, thus creating a perfect balance between fun interactions and surprisingly wholesome moments. Okay, but enough about the presentation. How is the gameplay? Shantae and the Pirate's Curse follows a rather simple formula. Travel to an island, explore for a bit, find a way to solve its puzzles, and then finally venture into the dungeon to defeat a boss at the end. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, the devil is in the details. Things start pretty straightforward at first, with basic fetch quests, easy platforming, harmless enemies, but it doesn't take long before the game starts raising the bar. The platforming gets tighter, the enemies get trickier, and you will be expected to use all your unlocked skills, especially when it comes to making progress. Remember the chest you saw buried in the ground 2 islands ago? It's time to revisit it now that you have unlocked the downward attack. Found an ancient relic? Who in the town could tell you more about it? And how do you even get those stupid elevators to line up? Anyway, the point is, the game does excellent job keeping things fresh and making sure you're using your every skill. Whether you're rushing to save your injured friend or sneaking past by the prison guards, the game is constantly committed to delivering a fun experience and hilarious hijinks. Even now I can get out of my head that one silly face that Shantae makes during her downward attack. That kinda looks like she's questioning her life choices. After 20 hours it takes to complete the game, you'll be hard-pressed not to restart it and aim to unlock every skill, every item, and of course, every ending. It might sound cheesy, but it's a refreshing feeling to play a game that just makes you smile. My final score, 9 out of 10. Shantae and the Pirate's Curse is a solid metroidvanian with great and pleasantly challenging gameplay, adorable aesthetics, lovable cast of characters, and a world you wish you could be part of. Thank you for watching.